not dealing with the problem. Look, there's a problem if you pass the debt ceiling increase again, because we're just going to keep piling on the debt. And there's a problem if you don't pass the debt ceiling increase, because what that's going to mean is you either, what does that mean, a default, or you're going to cut expenditures.
As we enter 2025, the U.S. faces the looming threat of reaching its debt ceiling once again. With warnings from Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen and political tensions in Congress, the implications of a potential default could have far-reaching consequences for the economy and global markets. Before we dive in, if you've ever thought about investing, the first link in the description takes you to Interactive Brokers, the platform I use. The debt ceiling is back. The debt ceiling is once again a pressing issue for the United States. It's a recurring theme that seems to emerge every few years. This time, the stakes are particularly high. With the country's debt reaching staggering levels, the urgency to address the debt ceiling has never been more critical. Congress suspended the debt ceiling until January 1st, 2025, but that suspension has now ended. The government must act quickly to avoid defaulting on its obligations. When the debt ceiling was suspended, it was set at $31.4 trillion. However, by the end of December 2024, the national debt had escalated to an astonishing $36.1 trillion. This increase of 15% in a mere 18 months highlights the government's ongoing struggle with managing its finances. As the deficit continues to grow, the need to raise the debt ceiling becomes unavoidable. The situation is precarious, and the potential consequences of inaction are dire. The U.S. borrows money by issuing treasury bonds to various investors, including individuals, institutions, and foreign governments, when its spending surpasses tax revenue, a process crucial to understand the implications of the debt ceiling. A look back. What happened last time? Past debt ceiling crises like the 2011 standoff that led to a U.S. credit rating downgrade and subsequent market volatility offer valuable lessons, demonstrating the complex interplay between political events and market reactions, as the continued demand for U.S. treasuries, even during periods of uncertainty, underscores their enduring status as a safe haven asset. Current situation. What's happening right now? As of now, the situation is tense. Janet Yellen has warned that the Treasury will reach its debt limit soon. The window for action is closing rapidly. Congress must come together to find a solution. The stakes are high and the potential consequences of failure are severe. The political landscape is fraught with division. Republicans who control the House are not unified in their approach. Some members advocate for spending cuts as a condition for raising the debt ceiling. Others, including former President Trump, argue for abolishing the debt ceiling altogether. This lack of consensus complicates the path forward. The political landscape? Trump versus Republicans. Donald Trump's recent comments have added another layer of complexity to the debate. He has suggested that eliminating the debt ceiling would be wise. His stance contrasts sharply with more conservative members of his party. They are hesitant to approve increases without significant reforms to government spending. This division within the Republican Party reflects broader issues within Congress. With a narrow majority, finding common ground is challenging. The potential for political brinkmanship looms large. As debates unfold, the clock is ticking. Time is running out to prevent a default. The consequences of U.S. default. The consequences of failing to raise the debt ceiling are profound. A default could trigger a financial crisis. The implications would extend beyond the U.S. economy. Global markets could react violently to such an event. Confidence in U.S. fiscal policy would erode, prompting investors to demand higher yields on treasury bonds. Higher yields would increase the cost of servicing government debt. This could create a snowball effect, straining federal budgets further. The value of the U.S. dollar could also take a hit. A weakened dollar would undermine its status as the world's reserve currency. This would have far-reaching implications for global trade. In addition to economic impacts, there are real-world consequences for everyday Americans. Social security benefits, military salaries, and other federal payments could be delayed. This would create financial hardship for millions. Consumer spending could decline, leading to job losses and a slowdown in economic growth. As the debt ceiling debate unfolds, the urgency for a resolution cannot be overstated. The potential fallout from inaction is severe. It's a precarious situation that demands immediate attention from lawmakers. The stakes are high, and the time for action is now. Is it catastrophic or meaningless? The debate surrounding the debt ceiling often polarizes opinions. Some view the potential consequences of a default as catastrophic. Others argue that the fear surrounding it is exaggerated. This divergence in perspective raises an important question. Is the debt ceiling a necessary check on government spending, or merely a political tool? Historically, the U.S. has faced debt ceiling crises. Each time there are warnings of disaster. Yet, after the dust settles, life continues. The 2011 crisis is a prime example. Many expected severe repercussions, but the immediate fallout was less dramatic than predicted. This leads to the argument that the debt ceiling may not hold the weight it once did. If you're concerned about your financial security and are thinking about investing, check out the first link in the description. It's the platform I use, Interactive Brokers. Click the link to learn more. Ray Dalio, a prominent investor, has shared his views on this topic. He suggests that the debt ceiling creates unnecessary tension. It transforms fiscal policy into a political battleground. This brinkmanship can lead to more significant problems. Dalio believes that the focus should be on long-term economic health rather than short-term political gains. The role of political brinkmanship. Political brinkmanship plays a critical role in the debt ceiling debate. It's a tactic used by lawmakers to exert pressure. They push their agendas to the limit, risking economic stability in the process. This game of chicken can have serious implications for the nation. The current political climate is highly charged. With divisions within parties, reaching a consensus is challenging. Republicans and Democrats often find themselves at odds. Each side uses the debt ceiling as leverage to negotiate other policy priorities. This leads to prolonged standoffs, creating uncertainty in the markets. Dalio points out that this type of brinkmanship can backfire. It erodes trust in the government's ability to manage its finances. If investors believe that the U.S. may default, they could seek safer investments. This shift could lead to rising interest rates and increased borrowing costs for the government. Ray Dalio's perspective on debt and inflation. Ray Dalio has a unique view on debt and inflation. He argues that excessive debt can lead to inflationary pressures. As the government borrows more, it risks devaluing the currency. This could create a vicious cycle of increasing debt and rising prices. Dalio believes that the U.S. must approach its debt situation with caution. He warns against complacency. The current economic environment is fragile. If the government cannot manage its debt effectively, it could lead to severe consequences. He advocates for a balanced approach. This includes fiscal discipline, transparency, and accountability. By addressing the root causes of debt, the government can foster a healthier economic environment. Dalio's insights highlight the importance of long-term planning and fiscal policy. Public opinion on the debt ceiling is mixed, with some favoring its abolition as an unnecessary political tool, and others believing it promotes fiscal responsibility, while many, like Dalio, suggest focusing on responsible fiscal management instead. Final thoughts and future outlook. The debt ceiling debate is far from over. As the deadline approaches, tensions will likely rise. Congress must find a solution to avoid defaulting on its obligations. The stakes are high, and the potential consequences of inaction are severe. Ray Dalio's insights provide a valuable framework for understanding the complexities of debt and inflation. His call for balanced fiscal management is a timely reminder. It's essential to consider the long-term implications of current decisions. The future economic landscape depends on how lawmakers choose to navigate this critical issue. As we look ahead, the urgency for a resolution cannot be overstated. The potential fallout from political gamesmanship is real. The U.S. economy is at a crossroads. The decisions made in the coming weeks will shape the nation's financial future. It's time for lawmakers to prioritize the economic well-being of the country over political maneuvering. Given these factors, a thoughtful approach to investing is crucial. I found the Interactive Brokers platform to be a valuable resource. You can find it linked below. Go ahead and check it out. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more great content.